I don't even know if I know how to vlog anymore. Hello everyone. It has been a long time. I know I have often gone months without uploading anything, but this time felt very different because I was also avoiding Instagram for all of this time. And it wasn't like a concentrated effort on my part. I just got really busy with my personal life. By the time I thought, oh gee, I haven't talked to any of my online friends, I haven't posted anything, it was so late that I felt guilty about it. And then the longer I waited, the guiltier I felt, and it just kept going and going. And I have finally decided to just get out of this cycle and actually get back into the swing of things in terms of writing, YouTube, my Instagram, and as I'm sure you can tell, I am no longer in the same location as my last video and all the ones before. So my partner and I moved. We found a house in our budget that we moved to, like we closed on July 13th, and so pretty much as soon as we closed on it, we started moving in. But our actual move date was that Saturday, and since July 15th, I've just been getting used to everything and trying to form new habits and just relax, I guess. I'm happy here, but it has definitely been an adjustment for me, and so that's a lot of the reason why I just disappeared, because it was just a lot that I had to adapt to, and I don't handle change well, so it was a mess. But I'm ready to get back on the horse, and I just wanted to film a little update to apologize first and foremost for going ghost on everyone the way that I did, because I wasn't even answering like Instagram direct messages. I just was not even opening the app at all. I feel really bad for the way I left things, so I'm hoping you can forgive me. But I just want to give you a little rundown, I guess. The house that we found is in a little town that the last time there was like a census report, it was like 500 and something people in this town. We have like a single traffic light here, and it's just really quiet and peaceful here, which is really cool because when I was a kid, I always like idealized small town life. So when I got the chance to actually live it, I was super excited. So thankfully, I actually really enjoy it, because that would have not been good if I got here and realized, oh, small town life isn't everything I thought it would be. So we have now a nice 3-bedroom, 2-story house as opposed to the old 2-bedroom apartment. So I'm super happy there. It's an old house. It was originally built in 1912, and there's a lot of stuff that needs updating, but it's still a really nice house, and yeah, I'm super happy here. Around us, there's just like a lot of farmland and a lot of fields, and that's been really cool. And we also have a lot of stray cats in this neighborhood, apparently. And so my partner and I have been feeding 2 specific ones that like we can actually pet, but there's at least 3 more, I think, that don't let us pet them. The biggest thing with this move and with the location is that we moved like an hour and 5 minutes away from the area we were in. It's been really hard for me to adjust to driving to work. More so driving from work has been hard, because in the mornings the roads are emptier, so it does take me like an hour and 5 minutes to get to work. But I've had a few afternoons where it took me closer to an hour and 30 minutes to get home, and that's not fun. So I was really burnt out very quickly when we moved in, because I already don't like driving. I have crazy driving anxiety. I was used to my drive taking no more than 20 minutes before, so it was really difficult for me to get in the groove. Just like the little things that, you know, I thought of, but I didn't know what to expect. I found myself getting gas like twice a week, when before I could go like a week and a half and then have to get it. And where we live now, we have to cross a bridge, so there's bridge tolls, and so that started adding up, because it's not a lot of money, but it does add up. But fortunately, about a month into being here, I was approved to telework 2 days out of the week. Because of my position where I work, I am only allowed to do 2 days, but obviously 2 days is better than no days, so I jumped at the chance. And so now I telework on Mondays and Fridays, and that has really dramatically changed things for me. Yeah, I'm so much happier, and my mental health is in such a better place, because you wouldn't think that, 2 days make a difference, but I only have to get gas once a week now, and I can sleep in a little bit on Mondays and Fridays. It kind of feels like I have a longer weekend. It might even just be a mental thing, I don't know, just the excitement of being able to work from home. But yeah, like I said, I've just been in a better place mentally now, and I'm able to fully enjoy the house and everything. And so about my space, I just kind of want to brag a little bit about it. It was the first thing kind of I did when we moved in, is I wanted to make this space my own. And so like that first weekend, my partner took me to Home Depot so I could get some paint, and I painted it all mostly by myself, but he had to help me up towards the ceiling because I'm about the size of a halfling, so I couldn't do it. And I have a new desk and a new chair, because on Amazon, I did not know this, when you have your MasterCard linked to Amazon, you get reward points. And I had been using my MasterCard, and I had built up like $200 worth of points, so I was able to get a new desk and a new chair. And so I have my space completely set up. I still have, pictures that I need to hang, and I have some books that don't fit on my bookshelf because I need a second bookshelf, but I got this room set up the quickest, so that I could have it, and I'm really happy with it, and I'm ready to do a lot of writing in it, which brings me, of course, to the writing update. I'm sorry I rambled for so long, now to get to the stuff that, is why you're here. So, the last you saw me on this channel, I was putting out a call for beta readers for my paranormal romance series that I was calling Cozy Werewolf Smut, because it's literally just an erotic romance series about werewolves. I was able to get all of my beta feedback just as we were moving in, and well, at least all of the feedback from the people that actually followed through until the end, because a few had to drop out, a few just disappeared, and I think I managed to get feedback from 5 or 6 people in total. And I didn't read it right away because obviously I was busy with moving, and also I got really scared and I didn't know if I was in the right headspace. And it was a fun process. I enjoyed it, and while it's always aggravating to share your writing with people because, you're so nervous about it and you worked so hard on it so you're terrified, it's also exciting to share your writing with people. I grew up writing fan fiction and posting it online, so it's I get a dopamine rush when I'm sharing my writing with people. But I don't think I made it clear enough to people what to expect from the story, because there's on Amazon, if you look up authors like Olivia T. Turner and Shaw Hart, they write short, insta-love, smutty stories where it's the plot is the romance and the smut. It's just characters getting together, falling in love, and doing it. There's not a lot of plot there because they're short reads for maybe, people who don't have a lot of time. Somebody, in that genre advertises her stories for working moms or, new moms who don't have a lot of time to themselves, so they're short stories just made to, appeal to the hopeless romantics that like spicy stories. I know my story was a little longer than your typical story in that genre because I'm just an overwriter and I love to write, so I will babble when I have a keyboard in front of me. So I didn't have the short thing worked out, but I thought I was adhering to the genre standards elsewhere. But my beta readers all seemed to want more from the story. Somebody was talking about how it seemed like it was leading into a murder mystery, and that would be really cool. Other people wanted me to add more paranormal elements like witches and ghosts and magic and stuff. Other people just wanted more drama with past partners of my characters. Like I said, they all seemed to want more from the story than I ever intended to give, and I think that was my fault. I did not give them better expectations for what the story was going to be. And it's stupid because other than that, I got amazing feedback. People seemed to enjoy a lot of it. And even the ones that weren't really into the story itself, they had good feedback for me in terms of my style and my characters. But I felt a little discouraged after that, I guess. And I was feeling kind of down about my skills as a writer, and setting up a story and promising a story to my readers, I guess, and not delivering on what was promised. So yeah, I still haven't even finished reading all of my beta feedback. I kind of skimmed around after I started noticing that trend because I just, like I said, I felt kind of discouraged. I kind of just stopped working on that story, pushed it to the back of my mind, and focused on moving in and getting everything settled and stuff. I have still been writing because, like I'm sure most of you, I can't not write. I actually wrote a series of short, smutty stories, like 6 in total, that I published under a completely different pen name just to kind of gauge interest, I guess, in that kind of story. And it was like an experiment in rapid releasing and keywords and keyword research. So I posted throughout the month of August and like the first week of September, I was publishing these short stories, and they were all in the same series. So then at the very end I released them together, and they haven't gotten a lot of interest, but I did write about things that aren't necessarily super popular, and I knew that going in, but I was still just curious to see, with the right keywords and with rapid releasing, could I get eyes on this series? And it was a nice experiment. I didn't really make a lot of money because they're short stories. I'm not, selling them at full price or anything. I've made more this month than I did in August, definitely. I think I'm up to just $20, 20 something in September. So like I said, it's not a lot of money, but it was kind of just this experiment to see if I could keep up with a rapid release schedule and get eyes on my stuff, basically. And I'm not even getting a lot of ratings or reviews, so I'm not sure how helpful this experiment was, but I was able to still stay creative and productive. I even made my own cover art for those stories, so it was a whole creative experiment that I'm glad I did, but like I said, I'm not sure how actually helpful it was. And so after I finished publishing those stories, I took a little bit of time off. I kind of was just obsessively playing Baldur's Gate 3, like most gamers these days. That game has kind of taken everyone by storm, it seems. But I was playing that, and I then spent 2 weeks obsessively working on a solo Dungeons and Dragons adventure that I wanted to play. I had all of these grand ideas that I was going to start a new channel and film myself playing this solo adventure, but that kind of fizzled out. As with everything that I do, I get super fixated and excited about things, and then I rush full steam ahead and it kind of just dies. But I was really excited about the story that I kind of came up with for this solo adventure. So a part of me is almost considering turning it into a real adventure and DMing my first D&D session. That would be fun, but I don't know. And other than that, I've mostly just been doing a lot of thinking and brainstorming and mind mapping and trying to figure out what I want to do writing wise. I don't want to completely abandon my werewolf series because I do genuinely like it, and I do have plans for 5 books in that series. I'm going to keep working on those, and I will probably just self-publish them, potentially even under this new pen name I'm using that, maybe I'll share with you guys in the future. But I also have been back on my young adult bullshit. So I don't know if it's because I started reading Truth Witch by Susan Dennard and I'm just really enjoying it, but it really reignited that spark inside of me because I've always wanted to write just cool, fun, young adult stories. And reading this one, I'm just I can do this. This is great. I have so many good ideas. I can do this. I started going through all of my old young adult and new adult ideas and kind of just thinking about them again and thinking about the pros and cons of each one. And I've always thought that I have really good ideas. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I always think I have great ideas, and then I just get upset because when I try to write them, they don't seem even half as great as they are in my head. But I went through all these old ideas. I loved every single one of them, and so I think I am going to attempt to write a young adult story again, and I think I am going to be writing this story with the intention of getting it traditionally published. I think I can do both. I think I can work on, young adult stuff over here for Trad Pub, and over here I can work on, my stupid erotic romances to self-publish. And so the story that I have been working on this past week, it's funny, it's actually the like first serious story I ever wrote back in, I want to say 2015. I would check, but it would take Instagram forever to load because I created this Instagram account when I was originally drafting this story because I had just discovered the writing community on Instagram. A lot of my early posts on Instagram were me writing this specific story, which I called at the time Forsaken. It's about vampire hunters, and like I said, it was the first kind of story that I ever wrote taking myself seriously as a writer. Like, I came out the gate thinking, I'm gonna get published, this is gonna get a movie deal, like this is gonna be the best vampire story in the young adult genre, like, ever. And it was really fun, and I learned a lot while writing it, but it was also a mess. When I finished this draft, it ended up being 500 pages because I printed it out, and it was like at least 500 pages, so I started affectionately referring to it as the monster. I realized after I wrote it that it was not even close to being finished because I had plans for more characters in this story. And so after I finished it, I was like, alright, I guess I can turn this into a duology or even a trilogy. But then when I reread it, I remember thinking, like, God, what didn't I add to this story? Because it was my first, like, real legit idea. I just was throwing everything into it. Like, everything that I liked, every trope that I liked, every spark of a character idea, I just was throwing it all in there because I was just having fun with it. So needless to say, this manuscript is a mess. But I think it can be reworked, and so I have already kind of plotted out a trilogy using this idea, and I plotted out book 1. This past week, I have done the beginning of a zero draft, kind of. I have created in Dabble, which is now what I'm using because Anna Robbins, I will try to link her video down below if I remember. She was recently talking about Dabble. God, I say recently, but this had to be months ago because it was before my hiatus. But she was talking about Dabble, so I decided to give it a shot. And so I created like new scene cards in each like new chapters, just kind of writing a blurb in each one about what was going to happen in that chapter. And so it's still just blurbs and paragraphs right now, but I'm calling it my zero draft, and I have just been slowly working at expanding each scene and trying to kind of beef it up a little bit. And so I would like to write an actual zero draft with, more substance before November, and then work on the first draft during November for NaNoWriMo. But then of course that leads me to ask, well, when am I going to work on my adult werewolf series? And I haven't figured that out yet because I do want to work on both. And I think both could be worth something, whether it's actually money or just reader enjoyment. So yeah, I guess I'm still a little bit shaky about where I am right now because I've been working on this young adult book, zero draft, for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, and it is currently September 24th. So I really do need to figure out what my writing timeline looks like for October and what I'm going to be doing for November. So that's where I'm at. There's a lot more I can say about writing and about my own feelings about myself as a writer. I've kind of been struggling with another identity crisis because I just like so many genres. It's hard for me to know if I want to write certain things because I actually want to, or if I want to write these things because I wish I wanted to, or I feel like I have to want to. Because of course when you look on YouTube, young adult kind of seems to be the most popular story that people are writing. So it's very hard for me to try and separate, is this what I really want? Is this what I should want? And right now, I do feel like that's what I really want. So I am going to keep playing around with this idea, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Which is why I am going to also keep working on my adult romance series, because I think that one has a better chance of actually working out. So I don't know. I feel like I said a whole lot without really saying anything. That was my very long update. And I'm so sorry that I disappeared, and I'm so sorry that I just was not even talking to anybody, to let anybody know I was doing okay, because I was doing okay for the most part, except for adapting to new routines and new changes, and also struggling to determine what my creative life looks like at the moment. But I was physically okay. I wasn't sick or anything. I was just being dramatic, I guess. But I have missed everyone. I am going to get more active on Instagram again and start actually doing things again. And while I was gone, I did keep up with all of y'all's writing vlogs. Shoot, even the ones that were just posting regular vlogs. I have been watching them all, and I have been, you know, clicking the like button on them all. I just haven't been commenting because I just haven't felt like talking, I guess. I haven't been in the headspace to be social, if that makes sense. So yeah, I will be trying to post a vlog all about this Vampire Hunter series as soon as I can, just to let you guys know what it's about and how this zero draft is going. I hope to post that by next weekend. Although I will say, quick note, just before I filmed this vlog, I have it's not a serious, but I have a medical procedure coming up. So that might delay me a little bit because this was planned, but I expected it to happen later at the end of November, and then there was an opening earlier. So I will be dealing with that and recovering from that, but I'm going to at least keep updating my Instagram. I'm not going to disappear again like I did before. So just wanted to throw that out there so you all know to expect that I might be a little late on the next video. But yeah, thank you for being here. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you sticking by my channel even when I disappear and need to go off and be dramatic for a little bit. Let me know down below how you're doing and what you've been working on. Like I said, I have been writing vlogs regularly because I still need stuff to watch while I'm at work, so I'm fairly updated on you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video and of course on my Instagram. So yeah, thank you for watching.